Welcome, welcome, folks. Today's episode introduces Marilyn Reyes, who has been an advocate fighting hard for the marginalized and low-income persons in the drug, sex, and incarcerated industries. They're all industries. Marilyn is a recovering addict. Hello there, Ozzy Stewart here. Welcome to Season 9's last episode of Hard Issues, and thank you very much for tuning in. On this episode, I'm shining light on Marilyn Reyes, who has been in the war of saving lives for over a decade, a fight triggered by her own inner war due to her addiction experience. So please like, listen, follow, share, comment, support via our donate, our store maybe, our members page, inside the call. Here we go. Marilyn, thank you. I really appreciate you coming in and speaking with us. I just want to give you guys a bio, a little bit on who Marilyn is. Marilyn is a proud native of the Bronx, dedicated mother of 6, grandmother of 13, an activist, public health worker, and harm reductionist. With a passion for equality and justice, Marilyn has dedicated her life to advocating for marginalized communities and promoting wellness and safety for all. From her work as a peer educator with New York harm reduction educators to her role as a wellness advocate at the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, Marilyn has made a significant impact on those in need of support. Additionally, Marilyn has served as a leader at Voices of Community Activists and Leaders, otherwise known as VOCAL New York, and as a board member of the National Council of Incarcerated and Formerly Incarcerated Women and Girls. Her experiences as a recovery coach and her own journey through her addiction have only fueled her determination to make a difference. Marilyn's motto is, "All I do is in love," a testament to her unwavering commitment to helping others. Okay, so Marilyn, my first question is, what inspired you to become an activist and a public health worker?
I came home in 1997 from prison, and I came back to my community. I got my kids back. And in that time, I tried to do things to improve my life. And I found so many barriers, obstacles, hoops and loops that I had to go through to get a little bit of anything because I was a felon. I was labeled as a felon. You know, my felony is forever according to the government, the system. Right. And for me, I felt, no, my felony is not forever because I have a life to build. So I paid my time. I did my time. Right. I paid my debt. Right. But in the systems, it's not like that. Right. But in my mind, I had to find a way to fight back, to be able to get an employment, to be able to get housing, to be able to get my basic needs. And while during that time, I've had a few years I raised my kids, got remarried, had 2 more kids, and then I wanted to do more for me and my community. And I was introduced to harm reduction. It's a place you go, and they have all kinds of services, but my attraction to it was the holistic therapy that I still do today. Which is acupuncture, massage therapy. I have a therapist there. Like, there's so much good in the holistic.
So you say harm reduction is part of the public health?
It's public health. Right. While I was going to the harm reduction agency, I was introduced to someone, and they said, why don't you do the peer program? And I said, what the hell is a peer program? We show you how to do syringe exchange. We show you how to bring out condoms and educate people on how to use them, sex workers, et cetera, et cetera. So I did the program, I passed the class, and I went out to the community and I fell in love with the work. I fell in love with the work.
What does harm reduction mean to you then when you
It's
say
love.
that you love?
It's simple love, but it's actually just reducing harm. And everybody does harm reduction. You close your door when you leave when you leave your house, right? You don't want nobody to break in, you close your car. Police officer wears a bulletproof vest. They're all practicing harm reduction, just in the harm reduction agencies for people that use drugs and engage in sex work.
Can you discuss any current initiatives or projects you're working on in your advocacy work?
We're working to SAC, right? And it's about having overdose prevention centers all through the state, right? We have 2. You know what overdose prevention centers are?
No.
Okay, overdose prevention centers are it's a harm reduction agency, and it's a place where people go that have pre-obtained drugs and use them there. And they're watched. So if they have an overdose, they save them right there so they don't have to die. So, but it's not just about using the drug in the facility. They also can access basic needs like a shower, food, clothing, therapy. They could see a doctor, psychiatry. I mean, they treat the whole person.
How many of those are in the city?
There's only 2. There's one in Harlem, and there's one in Washington Heights. But we want them all across the state in the most impacted areas, because our community, one person dies every 3 hours of an overdose. Every 90 minutes in the state, we lose somebody to an overdose. We are losing 19 people a day.
Where are the most impacted areas in the city? Say the top 3.
Okay, the Bronx, absolutely. It's the highest. There's Harlem and Brooklyn, I believe.
How does your personal background and experiences inform your approach to your work in harm reduction and social justice?
Well, and the advocacy piece, right? I have living experience of drug use, incarceration. So all my experience I use to advocate. And then I also been an organizer, civil rights organizer, where I brought in community to fight for these issues. And we got together and we just we lobbied in Albany, we lobbied with city council. I've done actions, just to fight for our people, because our people, they're dying, and we got to stop it.
So based on that, what steps do you think need to be taken to address the opioid epidemic in the United States?
We need overdose prevention centers.
So you're saying
yeah, and recently they released the opioid settlement fund,
which is what?
Which is a large amount of money that was won in a lawsuit from the people that were, prescribing pills. It was this big family, that rich family, that put opioids out into the community. Had doctors overprescribing, people got addicted to opioids. So all that money is a lot of money, billions of dollars. And what they're doing is they're giving it to agencies that are not doing the groundwork.
So what's the use of?
I think they should be opening more overdose prevention centers, and also funding harm reduction agencies, because harm reduction agencies don't get big funding. The systems get big funding, like Oasis and et cetera.
So are you guys talking to those people who can make the change to get?
Well, we've been like this Vocal New York that's been going up there, and they're all on the calls, but the governor, is indulging.
Okay.
So, it's all the systems. They just...
The idea from is that punitive drug laws have served as a tool of oppression.
Absolutely. And they're trying to bring them back.
Right. But the idea is that it aggressively targets people of color, right? And people experiencing poverty. So understanding that, is there hope?
Yes, there's hope.
Where's there hope for you?
Because we have to unite together and fight. Even the people that are not totally affected by it, we need a big coalition,
right,
to push this.
So seeing that you've been fighting it, what's that coalition? Has it grown?
It's grown, and we've had a few setbacks, but we're not losing hope.
So that said, how can communities better support the health and well-being of marginalized individuals who use the drugs and
get involved? Yeah, get involved.
How do they do that? Let's say somebody's listening.
Well, I mean, there's different organizations depending on the issue. Like if they want to fight for the opioid crisis, like Vocal New York fights for the homeless. They fight for people that are HIV and positive, mass incarceration, ending the drug war. The drug war is a war against people. Right. It's not a drug war. It's a war against people. Whatever issue they are feel in their heart, they should get involved.
And you think that Vocal New York would be the spot that they should come to? Is there
Vocal New York is one of them, yes. There's also the Coalition for Homeless.
Right.
I mean, there's different, it depends what issue, because if you're not passionate, you're not going to really be involved. I'm passionate about all these issues. So I'm involved. I'm involved in ending mass incarceration, ending all that.
What message would you like to convey to those who may be skeptical or resistant to harm reduction or social justice initiatives?
To educate themselves, learn what harm reduction is, and really see how it saves lives.
And again, explain harm reduction.
Harm reduction is reducing the harms that come from drug use, sex work, and it's love. To me, it's love because that's where I'm motivated from. That's where my spirit leads me. And I do the work in love.
How does trauma-informed care intersect with harm reduction in your work?
I mean, trauma is real. We come from trauma.
We're born through trauma.
Yes. So I'm still working on my trauma in therapy. But it's very important to treat the trauma so we can break the cycles, because the cycles have to be broken. And I think I got lost in that question. I'm just letting you know, I know. Because trauma to me is like a little trigger. Right?
Yes. And sometimes I want to ask questions and I need to ask them, and
it just triggers something.
Yes.
I'm being honest.
Yes. I appreciate that, and I hope it doesn't trigger too much.
No.
Okay.
But it's something that for years I didn't know that it was trauma. Like I knew I had all these things that I would feel, and there were certain things that I just wouldn't do. I was scared, like there was a lot of fear. And then somebody said to me, why don't you try the trauma therapy, right? So I thought, I didn't really understand trauma, but then I started educating myself, and then I started doing it, and then I started speaking about a lot of stuff that I've been through, like the secrets the family keeps, they don't talk about. Like there was stuff from when I was little that I carried all these years, and then it all made sense to me, and then it's trauma.
Is the therapy you find, the trauma therapy, you find it working?
It is working. It is. And with the holistic therapy, with the acupuncture, with the massage therapy, it's all, but it's a combination.
Right. So you guys understand it's all together.
Yes.
Right. Are there any common misconceptions or stereotypes about harm reduction that you'd like to dispel?
you know, like for people in harm reduction, right? We're the most oppressed people, right? Because we're not, they don't take our issues seriously. They feel that, you know, they're just drug users, just sex workers, and they don't really care what happens to us. Harm reduction is just loving people. It's just bringing services to them. Like I'll be on foot on Sundays in the ground, bringing syringes, bringing condoms, bringing food, bringing clothing to people. You know, I don't know. I get frustrated because people don't see the humanity in people that use drugs and engage in sex work.
What advice would you give to policymakers or government officials about incorporating harm reduction principles into public health policies?
Well, they've been done better because some things aren't put in already, but we need the overdose prevention centers.
That's the one thing.
We need that because people are dying. And stop the punitive treatment of people that use drugs.
Right. Can you describe any successes or victory in your work that you are particularly proud of in the harm reduction and other work?
Well, when I was doing, when I started getting involved in harm reduction, I got involved with Vocal New York, and I was a big part of Ban the Box, Fair Chance Act. And in that...
Explain to people what that was.
Okay, Ban the Box is a law now that it's called the Fair Chance Act. Jamani Williams and Reynoso. And what it does is it eliminates the question, have you been convicted of a felony from a job application? So it gives the employer an opportunity to meet you, not your felony. Right. So now, in certain like high-level jobs, you don't, they still have that question. Right. But in most jobs, because once you're a felon, they always want to label you a felon, but you're much more than a felon. Correct. I'm a mother. Right. I'm a daughter. Yeah. I'm a grandmother. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm a community member, I'm an activist, I'm an advocate, I'm so much more.
And so open with everything, Marilyn. What would you say to someone who is struggling, who's currently struggling with addiction and is hesitant to seek help?
I would find out what is it that they really need. I would have a discussion with them. Or have them go to the nearest harm reduction agency. Or it depends what they want. Right. Because everyone, you know, some people, when they're trying to find help, right? It could be help reducing their use, right? Or it could be going to an overdose prevention center and bringing their drugs and just using there and getting services there. Or if someone just wants to go to detox, then they have to, you know, figure out which detox they want to go. I don't tell nobody what to do. Like I always have them, they ask me, I've had people on Facebook call me up. They want to go detox. So I say where you want to go. And then I just assist them. People know what they want. It's just, you know, they're just caught up. But they know what they want. I can't really tell people what to do because I don't work that way.
What is the joy for you, the joy of what you do?
The joy? Because this is God's work. And I feel this is what I was made to do. Using my lived experience and just helping people change their lives. I just give them suggestions sometimes, but they do it, you know, and watching somebody go from sleeping in the corner to actually getting a room, getting help for their substance use disorder, and moving on with their lives, that's such a blessing. Right. And then you see the change, like the glow, oh my God, it's beautiful. You can see God at work. So what are 2 things you're grateful for in your career and life? 2 things. Maybe one in your career and one in your personal life. Well, I was away from my oldest children for 7 years because of my drug use. So I'm grateful that I got to reconnect, build my relationship with my oldest children, get my boys back, and have 2 more children. I love my family. Like, that's my personal stuff that I've gained. My mother, I have a wonderful relationship with her today. Like, I've so many things in my family. Like, family life is good.
Right.
You know, so I'm proud of that.
Right.
And in my personal, in my professional, I'm also co-director of the Peer Network of New York, which is building peers, right? First you build the person,
right,
personal,
right,
and then professional.
right.
So we build the person, personal,
right,
right?
Right.
By just, you know, having conversations, doing trainings about how to act in an interview, or you know, if they want whatever they want, you know, like we help them mold them, like how to dress for an interview, like different things.
Right.
We're going to start a women's group.
Oh, okay.
Yes, with Faith and Harm Reduction, we're going to start
okay.
a women's group, which is really awesome because the women have a lot of needs, and we need to have our own space, safe space.
Yes.
You know.
So now you're going to be working 8 days a week.
I work 7 days a week. I really do.
I know you do.
Because I can't, like, I work my full-time job.
Because it's not like it's a job thing. You know, you use the word
no,
job.
Because I move in spirit.
Right.
It's a whole different, like,
right.
I can't.
See it on your face. I see it on your face.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about this particular project. I'm going to look at that later, but tell us, that little package.
This is a naloxone kit. This is the package it comes in. This is the Narcan. So if you suspect somebody's having an overdose, usually this only works on opioids. So if someone used something else, this won't work on it. Only opioids, because it blocks the receptors in the brain. But you would peel it, right? Hold it to the side here, insert it in the nose, make sure, and then press the red part in. The red part is where the medicine is at. So don't touch it until after it's inserted in the nose. And you wait 2 to 3 minutes. If it doesn't work the first 2 or 3 minutes, then you use the second dose. Have somebody call 911.
So you get 2 doses in a
So
pack.
you get 2 doses. You get gloves. You get a face mask if you choose to do rescue breathing.
Right.
Because people need air.
Right.
They need oxygen.
Right.
And that's a big thing. In the overdose prevention centers, they use more oxygen than naloxone.
Right.
And they bring people back.
Right.
And then you have instructions here in English and Spanish.
Okay.
And YouTube has great videos. No, I'm just saying because, you know, to do a whole training, it would be like 45 minutes. But I'm just saying,
no, that's...
if you have this around, it saves lives. And then with the drug supply being so contaminated, it's contaminated with fentanyl. So you don't rarely see heroin anymore. It's mostly fentanyl. Fentanyl is 100 times stronger than heroin. And xylazine now. That's an animal tranquilizer that they're putting in with fentanyl, which is not for human consumption. So the mixture is a cocktail for death. Because it sedates you. So it makes the fentanyl last longer, but at the same time, it sedates you.
So it sedates you and then you just go under.
Yeah, you can go under if you don't get oxygen. Some people can fall out in the street for 12 hours and not realize that they were out that long because of the xylazine. That xylazine it makes the overdoses worse.
So, thank you, my dear. That is good to see. Naloxone.
Yes.
Naloxone. All right, so a lot of information. This is the first part. I want to thank you very much for this education. Really appreciate you coming in, telling us about your journey. Thanks to Cheese, our OTC team, and to you, my audience, for spending your valuable time with us today. Please like, follow, drop comments, support our store, donate, become a member, where you'll experience 24 episodes yearly, not heard or seen anywhere else, exclusively to and for you only. So care to share. Remember, when you're on your beat, stay on the sunny, sunny side of the street safely. Be health conscious and kind to one another. And don't forget to give thanks for the little and big gifts as we strive through and to this beautiful life. Get to Inside the Call.